All right, welcome to the Songcast.com presentation on Breaky CPK. Joining me is Toby Kenobi, Community Shoutcaster, and this is the DYA Invitational semifinals here. It's been a fun event so far. We're here live from Singapore, Malaysia. We got ICE taking on XTU here for the first semifinals. We also have EGU versus IMP over there in the other semifinals going on right now. But, of course, we are at the show match here, XTU versus ICE. It's going to be a hell of a series.
It's true. It's like the first time we've seen America go up against Malaysia. Malaysia 3-0 so far in the series. Didn't drop a single game, and the only game that ICE dropped was in an epic battle between EG.
Yeah.
And that was epic, basically.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to get ourselves into this game or jump ourselves across as, wow, that was awesome timing just then. I like it. So basically, XTU playing as our Legion side tonight, and over on the ICE side, we'll be playing for the Hellborn. So let's see how that goes tonight. This is a bit of, I say tonight, it's this morning. It's early
Definitely morning here. Well, depending on where you are.
It's true.
It's different times all over the place.
It's true.
For a lot of our viewers, I'm sure it is night and late night and evening or afternoon. So.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's something like that. But it's going to be awesome. Best of 3.
Yeah.
Best of 3. We're predicting it's going to go to 3 as well with these two teams.
It had. I mean, I like I said, I honestly would be surprised. Again, a lot of our viewership. Again, just like us, we don't really know too much about these Southeast Asian teams coming into this event. We really don't. We have casted XTU a couple of times online, but even at that, you're always dealing with server issues. I mean, obviously, them being over here in Southeast Asia, they always have to deal at the very least the U.S. West, which they get around 200 latency or so. But this being a LAN event, we talked about it already. XTU, they really did look very impressive. We cast them in a show match yesterday against Kung Fu. They looked really good. ICE at the same token, though, they're using a ringer here from Singapore, but even against EG, they gave them a hell of a match. This no doubt will be a great, great series. It's the cool thing about ICE as well. They've been doing it with some interesting heroes, starting with Bryce playing Electrician.
Yeah, that Electrician's been so damn powerful. We're having a chat about it last night about just how awesome it's been. Like, and we saw the coupling as well with ICE with Dr. Repulsor and Electrician, and how basically the substitute man, Purify, was actually playing the Dr. Repulsor, and our Electrician was... Bryce, yeah. Sorry, yeah. It's mental, 8:30, come on. But yeah, just coupling those two up here, interesting to actually see. Both are still... Actually, no, Electrician just got taken out, I think.
Yeah.
Electrician's out.
It's... about that, because you actually were talking... You were on the stage earlier, you were watching, you were looking at talking to the players, and you saw XTU, they were actually scouting the replays.
Yeah.
I mean, so obviously, they saw those replays. They know how powerful Electrician is, and they just don't want to have to deal with it.
I'm wondering if ICE is going to do has actually done the same thing, because I'm wondering if they're going to be ready for the Sandwraith, because the Sandwraith has just been one of those heroes that was being picked every single time and hasn't been banned, I think, in this DYA over this time around. Like, we saw them in the practice matches the 2 nights ago now, and that Sandwraith was just ripping everything. Singapore did actually use it. Like, Malaysia actually gave it to them when Singapore and Malaysia went head to head, and Singapore did get out pushed in the end, and they got ripped through. But it's just one of those heroes which I think that ICE. I don't know if they're going to be ready for these heroes. Have they faced them before? Not really with this style.
It is. It's a different style. I mean, Defiler is the one that stands out to me, really. It seems like Defiler is one of those heroes, especially in the Southeast Asian area, that it seems to be very, very popular. When the States and the Europe section, it really isn't as much. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. They are currently, we'll see what they go with. They are, heroes, obviously. As far as the Legion team is concerned, though, XTU, they decided to go with Devour as their first pickup. It is a very good pickup. We do see him banned a lot of the time. But for aggressive lineups, an excellent solo mid hero, very powerful, especially in the right hands.
And especially ICE did that early on as well.
Yes, they did that early on as well. XTU, though, they're going to here with their first pick, so Devour, very good pickup. Dr. Repulsor is still on the board.
Is that right?
You know what? We were actually talking about Bryce, he was telling us this in the EG match. Dr. Repulsor was not banned or picked up throughout the whole.
Yeah.
It's so rare to see that. So, he's still on the board. We got the next couple of picks here for XTU. Curious to see if a hero like that goes.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm still actually stuck in the Dr. Repulsor. Like, if he's actually going to appear, he's managed to avoid the ban pool this time around.
Yeah.
It's actually going to work, because a big time was ICE just said it didn't work with their lineup. Dr. Repulsor is good, but if he doesn't actually work with the rest of the team, there's no point in actually picking him. So they have everything open for them right now. We had Voodoo Jester, Devourer, and Sandwraith are our first 3 locked in here for XTU. So I'm loving this. I'm loving their aggressives. I love that Devourer, his tongue, like not that I'm a big fan of like a rotten flaming tongue like coming out and kind of stuff. It's like bad breath.
An ugly mofo, but
but
you can respect that.
Yeah, you can. But what I really love is just the fact that you can make something out of nothing. It's just like one of those great initiators, pulling someone straight into you, and then it's just basically rot yourself on him.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful sight. But it's also going to be very, very hard when Ice tries to escape.
Yeah.
Because if things go bad, things go sour, Devourer's tongue will always be there looking for something to latch onto.
Well, yeah, the thing with Devourer too as well, it's there's a lot of people that say he is a skill shot hero, obviously with his hook ability, and it's one of those, if you miss with your hook, going into a team fight, it's almost in a sense he becomes useless, because with the rod that later on in the game, when team fights are going on, it doesn't do so much. But
he just becomes tank.
At the same time, though, yeah, he does become a tank because of the cadaver armor, obviously. But at the same time, though, Devourer, he is a hero that similar to like a Pebble, similar to Retrodag. He gets that early game advantage. Yeah. He starts roaming around, and as long as he can land those hooks, can be very, very effective and really take over games, which is why we, in fact, do see him ban worthy a lot of the time in a lot of these games. But as we saw here, first picked even by XTU.
It's here.
Let's talk about the Hellborn team real quickly. They got their 4 picks out of the way so far. We're looking at Thunderbringer, Pharaoh, Witchslayer, and then Dr. Repulsor. So we see the Dr. Repulsor picked up by them, as we mentioned earlier. They were talking about they did not pick it up yesterday, but they seem to find that it fits a little bit better in this lineup. With that said, I'm a little bit curious because they have Thunderbringer and Pharaoh already. They have 3 powerful solo heroes. So it's kind
of, I'm banking on Glacius on the end of that.
Tri-lane, maybe. I mean, they could go Witchslayer, Glacius, roaming. I mean, something like that. It's possible. We'll see.
I'm only just looking at it that way because, like, Thunderbringer, Witchslayer, Dr. Repulsor, especially, who needs that mana, it's going to want him, and they still need that other support hero. Because you're right. They've got between Thunderbringer, Pharaoh, and Dr. Repulsor, they're going to be 3 big focuses, and we're going to find out in just a second. We saw the last picks coming out. Hellbringer was our second last, as well as what we got. Andromeda. So Sandwraith, Hellbringer, Devourer, Voodoo Jester, and Andromeda. The full lineup here for XTU. And it's in the last hands here for Ice. But yeah, I'm predicting one more support hero to actually balance it up.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You could pretty much expect that it is going to be a support. With that said, they're going to rely on Dr. Repulsor to be their carry style hero.
Definitely.
Now he can definitely carry, but at the same token, you compare him to heroes like Chronos, a Swiftblade, a Forsaken Archery, and even a Soul Stealer. It is kind of difficult to say that he really is that pure damage dealer. But at the same time, he's kind of a different style carry. Just the way he moves around, gets in and out of those fights, causes a lot of issues. So we are waiting on the final pick now here.
It's currently tantalizing us with a picture of someone.
See, now if they go with that, it's going to be interesting because you know what? Like I said, they already have 3 powerful solo heroes, so one of those solos more than likely. So they do go with the Forsaken Archer. We're probably going to see a Pharaoh in the tri-lane.
Yeah.
It's a kind of an X type deal. We're not used to seeing that. We do see him solo all the time, but at the same token, he can be a very powerful tri-lane hero because that Mummy Wall can cause a lot of issues both offensively and defensively.
That is
true.
So
when you really think about it, he definitely has potential, but at the same token, he's going to be lacking levels, of course, and a hero like Pharaoh could definitely rely on those.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm looking at this lineup here from the Hellborn side. You just know that they want it to go past 40. Go past 40 minutes, and that's when all these heroes should be at the right point. But you have yourself over to the XTU side. They've still got that late game. You've got Sandwraith. It's like one of the best late game heroes you can easily pick up.
Arguably the best,
and you get a Mock of Brilliance on top of that one. He'll pick you off.
Yeah.
He will so pick you off. But they still have all that early defense. Like you can have Voodoo Jester that's going to slow you down with a bouncing cocktail, and then you jump on top of that one. You have Hellbringer's ulti when it's up. Devourer can help pick off, and Andromeda's going to slow you down as well. And she's also a great initiator as well through her swap ability. So look very, very closely for this XTU side to either be very, very aggressive or just control the lane. The play is going to be up to them. I don't really think that Ice is going to actually set the pace of this game.
Well, yeah, I mean, you talk about the Sandwraith. No doubt, if this goes late game, I mean, Sandwraith carry, it's just you really can't handle with that, and especially with this lineup here from the Hellborn team. They do have Forsaken Archer, as we mentioned, even Dr. Repulsor, but we've seen so many crazy things from Sandwraith. As soon as he gets that early Mocker Brilliance, he gets somewhat tanky. He just causes so much damage, and his ultimate is what really makes him. The fact that, they've changed it recently, where his ultimate now, it stays as well on top of the people. Even after you port, so that's another very beneficial thing. Picking up a hero like Sandwraith, and perhaps why we have seen him more. He is going to be running the we would expect he'd be running a trial with someone like a Voodoo Jester and Andromeda. They got Devourer pickup, who, as you are seeing, Devourer's got his new little costume on, he's a little Halloween style right there, still on.
It's very, very disturbing, that look, actually, especially when his phase actually comes up as well. But the very, very angry clown.
We are, okay, so yeah. Obviously, again, we do want to reiterate, since we are at a LAN event, obviously we can't call out what we're used to calling out online because they can't hear us, so...
No strat calling.
Yeah, no strat calling, unfortunately, nothing like Wars. We did do it a couple of times yesterday, at least I did. I did apologize for that, but, we're doing our very best, so we're learning, and, we'll go from there. So, yeah, let's just keep that in mind when you are listening into this cast.
Yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind. Yeah, so we actually have crossed over, and the creep waves have spawned out. In fact, they're actually going to meet themselves up here at the center. So we'll actually see our first lane. Dr. Repulsor is actually in the middle lane going for the solo. Devour is headed in there as well for the Legion side. Bottom lane, what have we actually got as the lanes actually meet up here? Forsaken Archer going to show up against Sandwraith just there, and waiting for the right time to actually have a bit of a go, as actually calling out Voodoo Jester on the back of a haste. He's managed to find Pharaoh inside the trees here, and is not quite sure he wants to actually have a crack at this one. Sandwraith still wants to stick in that lane. There's all distraction, I think, at the moment for that bottom lane. They want to get that Sandwraith farmed up, and they've got to make sure he can actually do that.
Oh yeah, obviously that's what it's going to be about here for this Legion team. Sandwraith is what it's going to come down to, as long as he can get that good farm. With that said, this is a style of lineup you usually see built around a hero like Sandwraith. He needs just amazing farm. He needs to get that long farm. We do have a pause here going out, so we're going to have a little bit more time to talk about it. Hopefully nothing serious. But yeah, so about that Sandwraith, they built a nice team around him. What I mean by that is that they got a very active team, a team that's going to be moving around, from Devour to Andromeda to Voodoo Jester even. They're going to be moving around, setting up a lot of kills. Oh my God.
Home will turn that sound off.
That's a Skype call.
It appears that a key fell out of the keyboard. So on Thunderbringer's keyboard. So something went wrong for him. So he should be back into it now. And this bottom lane is pushing out once again. They have shown all three heroes on the bottom lane now. So the tri lane, it's Pharaoh just getting stunned there. Nothing for it to bounce off. So it's more just a simple harassment coming out from Voodoo Jester. So not really too concerned about it. It looks like a mid lane gank actually happened. Devourer actually already claims the kill here. And Ashley, wow, and also bottom lane Sandwraith also getting done. He's in the middle of the crippling volley. He is still living through this one. Andromeda's going to come in from the high side. They're focusing on the Witch Slayer at the moment. Bouncing stun going up. It's going between Forsaken Archer and Witch Slayer. He will go down. There goes our Witch Slayer. Forsaken Archer trying to get back there. Sandwraith getting caught in the crippling volley. Pharaoh is still wanting to hang around here. Jester coming up to harass them back there. But quick kills from both teams. And in fact, it's 2-0 now in favor of our Legion side.
Yeah, we talked about Pharaoh. What can make him effective in this tri-lane is that Mummy Wall. However, he's level 1. He only has Tormented Soul, so, wasn't able to use a Mummy Wall, obviously, right there. Thus, maybe resulting in the death of his teammate. Wasn't able to help him, unfortunately. But when those levels start coming up, now, you expect that now he has Mummy Wall, so you got to be wary of that. And we will see, I'm sure, if they do look to play aggressive once again. And no doubt this Legion team, by the way, Voodoo Jester and Andromeda, arguably, two of the best support heroes, especially for this tri-lane strategy. They got a powerful double stun combination right there. Hellboy team pushing up a little bit. They're going to on a Sandwraith. That they can get Sandwraith right here will be huge. Forsaken Archer trying to find him in the jungle as well as Pharaoh, but Sandwraith, kind of hidden in there, and it looks like he's actually going to escape. Good mojo right there from Voodoo Jester, and in the end, he's going to be fine. Now you see Andromeda pushing up as well as Devour showing up. The hook. Oh, he misses the hook. Great split right there. There goes the stun of Witch Slayer with the Graveyard Stun, though, stopping them a little bit, and in the end, Andromeda falling back to the Legion team. Devour coming from the middle lane after his Bloodlust kill, trying to set up a hook, but a good split right there from the Hellborn team, preventing it. But we're already seeing very aggressive play from here from XTU, and that's honestly what you would expect with a Voodoo Jester Andromeda support.
Yeah, that was awesome. And what a stun there from the Witch Slayer. Just getting that triple stun. We're going off again. Sandwraith being caught out. The wall of mummies is up. Sandwraith cannot get out. Crippling volley, holding in place. Now he's out. Andromeda stun on Pharaoh, trying to retreat themselves back here. Just a great support. Keep that carry alive. Sandwraith cannot die. And XTU, it is so hard to get a kill in that bottom lane.
It really is. Sandwraith is one of those heroes as well. You always got to worry. Although he's obviously not tanky yet, but as the game goes on, he's going to be very tanky. So very difficult here to take out. But on top of that, his nuke ability, it allows him to travel through things like the trees and stuff. So he is a very hard hero to gank. And eventually, when he gets level 6, that makes him even tougher to gank, of course. So this Hellborn team wants to take advantage early on as much as they can, because as I just suggested, later on in the game, it becomes so much more difficult to gank a hero like Sandwraith. So they want to try to take opportunity. But so far, as you mentioned, Voodoo Jester and Andromeda doing a very good job of support, and they're really preventing the overall push from happening. So right now we're looking at a 2-0 hero kill advantage for the Legion team. Let's take a look at the other lanes right now, as we did miss the Bloodlust kill. I do apologize for that, but obviously Devour was able to take out Dr. Repulsor here in the middle lane, so that definitely giving him a slight advantage right there. We see Dr. Repulsor just hitting level 5, in fact. And then at the top lane, of course, we got Hellbringer going up against Thunderbringer. There's a lot of back and forth magic damage going over there. Of course, burst from Thunderbringer, and then dot damage from Hellbringer. It looks like they're just having a fun back and forth battle using some regen, and nothing too action-oriented there. So clearly it's going to be the action involved in the tri-lane strategy. With that said as well, the Hellborn team decided to send their tri-lane, obviously, to the bottom lane. If Forsaken Archer tri-lane, you more than likely see that, especially with the range carry in general.
Yeah.
But again, it's so far, maybe it's working out as much as they expected.
Yeah, I think they're going to try and mix things up at the moment. Like, Devourer has been moving out there, which I don't know if it's actually a great thing as well. Like, Dr. Repulsor is getting on top in that mid lane. Even though the first blood did actually come towards a Devourer, it's just like, he's got to stay there. He's got to keep this advantage he's got over the mid carry. Because if he doesn't, if he keeps moving around, if the game doesn't go off, like the bottom lane, the time tried to go off, and all was in vain, that one kill he got in the middle lane, it gets completely undone. So you lose that extra advantage you've got. 3 heroes still pushing that bottom lane. They're not going to give up on this tri-lane. They still want to actually have them all in there, pushing up as hard as they can against that tower. And the tower is slightly damaged here, and of course we have seen XTU playing very defensive there, but I don't think they really care at the moment, because at the moment they're still fighting on their side of the river. They're fighting inside their neutrals, and it's a safer place for them to be.
Yeah. The more you think about it too, it's, again, I was talking about the whole mummy wall. It seems like that would be much more useful for defensive purposes, but this tri-lane here from the Hellborn team, you would think that they would want to be aggressive. Like we're talking about earlier, they want to stop Sandwraith. Unfortunately, though, that hasn't been able to happen yet, and they have the one stun, of course, the Graveyard Stun from Witchslayer, and then the Crippling Volley to follow it up. But even if he gets trapped in the mummy wall there, that's a problem. So you kind of wonder, maybe, by the way, Dr. Repulsor goes down, and Deny also on Devour, so denying himself, it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange right there. So once again, the middle lane having a fun time. But again, it seems like Melon's playing Pharaoh again. He's obviously a very solid Pharaoh player going in from behind, and there's the mummy wall coming out, the Graveyard Stun to follow, the Crippling Volley to follow. Will they have enough damage? That was the question. Yes, a Thunderbird ultimate will take care of it. And there's a nuke down on a Pharaoh, but he's going to be more than fine. So Vita Desta, and Hellbringer ultimate, coming out. Malphus looking to chase, maybe pick up a kill on Pharaoh, catch him. Not going to happen though. And the Hellbringer ultimate is not going to do too much, unfortunately. So tried to get there in time, just a little bit too late, but action definitely picking up a little bit here.
Yeah, they just had the right time to strike down there, and for finally we actually see the Ice Boys get themselves on the board. 3-2 now up, and it's only like 6 minutes into this game. It's felt as been a lot more action, a lot more kills actually happening. Once again, like Devour in the mid. You never know when Dr. Repulsor and them are actually going to go head to head, especially with Dr. Repulsor now being level 6. He can use that ulti, he can jump in nice and fast, and then it's all up to Devour to make the most of it, because you do come in close, and Devour does have that ulti, will hold you in place for as long as he possibly can, and of course denying himself, not the best thing to actually do, but in the end he goes straight back to full health and gets back into the lane and gets the XP from the kill, so you can't complain too much.
Yeah, you definitely can't. And that's the thing with him too. Obviously, he had the rod activated to get the kill, and just so happened he wasn't able to turn it off in time. But you know what happens. So, but at the very, like you said, it denies isn't the worst thing to happen. He does. He's now pushing this middle lane a little bit. Is Devour. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Sandwraith and Forsaken Archer currently going back and forth at it. Sandwraith again. You look at his farm; it is fairly good. He has a life tube right now. He definitely expect. I am curious actually to see what he goes for. Whether or not he goes for an early Helm of the Black Legion, or if he chooses to, maybe even rush that Mock of Brilliance, which we have seen from time to time. The thing with that, obviously, you take a lot of time. It's 3,400 for that sort of the high, and you take a lot of time without any smaller items trying to save up for it. So if he feels confident, if he has a farm going, then he definitely will go for it. But we'll see how confident he is feeling. But right now, it's just a little bit of back and forth here at this bottom lane. We have a 3-2 hero kill lead in favor of the Legion team. Now coming up to the 8-minute mark. There's a mummy wall trap on a Sandwraith right there. Going to use that Desert Curse once again, and he's going to be able to go through the mummy wall. So talking about the earlier, you can go through objects like that with that Desert's Curse, and showing right there how it's definitely an effective ability even against that mummy wall.
Yeah, that mummy wall cannot be used for Sandwraith. There is no way you can really hold him in place. He always actually has that ability to get himself straight back out again. And, especially with the support being there. We're going at him again, though. The stun's going to be the first thing to do it. We did see Pharaoh trying to get a little bit closer to have another crack at him, especially when he's down on mana. He actually doesn't actually have that ability anymore. That Desert's Curse can't actually fly himself out of that wall of mummies at the moment. And maybe that's what they're waiting for. The mummies is back up for Pharaoh. Very, very low cooldown. Now we're going to go again. There's that wall of mummies. Sandwraith is going to get caught this time. Voodoo Jester trying to hold them off there. The stun's going through. Sandwraith falling back towards the tower. He's one hit away. Actually stopped a bunch of the tango and got hit, but in the end does actually die.
Yeah, it's using the Tormented Soul to finish him off. I mean, you're talking about that. They can't really use the Mummy Wall on Sand Wraith, but in that case it happened to work because he was obviously out of mana. And I'm sure, of course, Ice was very wary of that. So another excellent gank right there on a Sand Wraith. That is actually his second death of the game. So, earlier on it was looking like that they were having some troubles, but they've now got back-to-back kills on him, and they've tied up at 3 hero kills apiece. So definitely stepping it up, and this Forsaken Archer's farm is, of course, increasing as a result of that as well. So that's very good news here for Ice. Definitely recovering nice. We haven't focused too much on the other lanes in terms of the heroes and whatnot. We see Thunderbringer up here pushing back in the top lane. Very interesting item choice, by the way, right here. He's got his plated boobs right there, or excuse me, plated boots right there. So it's definitely not something you see on Thunderbringer, but all too often. But he's choosing to go for that top lane up there. Devour right now kind of soloing the middle lane, taking advantage of some farm that he can get. Double damage rune activated on Dr. Upholstery. He's now points in on a Voodoo Disco right here. The auto attack's way too much damage coming through. Easy kill right there for Ice. Here comes the portal for Hellbringer. Does he have an ultimate? Yes, he does. Pharaoh with the Mummy Wall, though, blocking a lot of the teammates from coming in. And Forsaken Archer and Witch, they are going to be able to fall back in time. They have a dot on them with the Life Void. Are they going to be able to get away? Maybe a Flame Breath is incoming. Oh, it's going to be enough for the kill anyways. Meanwhile, down here, however, another kill happening, actually. It looks like Voodoo Dust's already dead. A lot more action happening, though. Pharaoh eventually will fall, but he took out Andromeda with him at the very least. And you see Devour, he did also support in there. So everyone pretty much at the bottom lane, except Thunderbringer, who, of course, did not have his ultimate, unfortunately. If he had his ultimate through that fight, could have maybe been a little bit different, but maybe not so much. So, but a good fight right there for XTU.
Yeah, definitely. They are still in front 6-5, and they did come out on top there, even though it did start to become a bit of a scramble with the teams really splitting up. And that was a big problem there for Ice too. But half the team falling back and half the team still stuck fighting next to the Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. And yeah, you never want to get your team split up. You want to try and hold yourselves together, and then it just started to get picked off. Of course, Malphus, that Hellbringer ulti, it did get dropped. It did get a good stun off there, and it did actually get the last hit there too. So it all comes smelling up of roses. Bottom lane now being pushed out here. They managed to catch Sand Wraith out. Wall of Mummies is up. He doesn't have the curse. He's stuck there for the moment, but the Voodoo Jester bounce coming off there, and even Andromeda comes through to throw in the stun on the back of the Witch Slayer, trying to pull them out. Thunderbringer's there. In comes the tongue. Forsaken Archer goes down. They're still pushing it out at the moment. The Rot's coming to Pharaoh, but the Hellfire Blast coming from low. Wall of Mummies trying to push them back there. Devour thinking about going the long way around, but that Mummy's reach is very, very long, and in the end won't get it. One hero kill apiece.
Yeah, and obviously that was more so in favor of XTU getting that Forsaken Archer kill, only exchanging Andromeda. They definitely take that every single time, so well played by them. We still don't have a lot of action picking up. Devour's going to get cut in the jungle right here, easily pulled down. No chance, a 4-man gank on one, and they're headed towards the lane now. Voodoo Jester needs to be careful. Sand Wraith also in a lot of trouble. Are they going to get a catch? The Mummy Wall expected. There we go. Not enough mana for Desert Scourge. He's just going to try to take out the Mummy. Can they get away? He's a little bit tanky, but can they finish him? Yes, they can. Thunderbringer with the nuke down. Not going to be a smackdown, although they intended to. And now here comes a 5-man push here from Ice Gaming. So a well-timed gank right there onto Sand Wraith. They went through the jungle. They seemed to pick off several of the heroes one by one, and now they're going to be able to make a tower push out of it. More than likely going to get this tower right here. Yeah,
they definitely will. The cliff was fired off a little bit ago. It still will be on cooldown, so they won't actually have that one back up again. So the pushing on the tower is going to be very, very easy for them to do. In fact, there goes the Tier 1 tower down right now, and that's the first tower down for this game as well. It's taken 12 minutes to do so, and there's been 7 and 8 kills come through from either side. And this is only the start of things to come. Both teams, they're really hitting hard, but what I really love about this is it hasn't really been a one-sided fight.
Yeah.
No battle so far has said, oh wow, that was so XTU's. Oh, that was just so ISIS. It's gone both ways, and it's all about who gets that great initiation.
Oh yeah, it really has. And as I do use that word a lot. I mean, because honestly, that's what a lot of the team fights come down to. Obviously, whoever initiates first, depending on the lineups, give and take. That initiation is so key. If you can start off a fight 5 versus 4, obviously you have the advantage. Simple math right there. So it is huge to get that initiation off. And a hero like Devour for over here on XTU, allows them, as long as he can hand that hook, as we were talking about earlier, to pull them in and to, set up a gun and make it a 5 versus 4 battle. But at the same time, the Hellborn team, they got some good recovery and some good initiation themselves, starting with Pharaoh, who is level 6 now, and we'll see and keep in mind if he uses that ultimate to start picking up some heroes. But the Hellborn team looks like they want to keep pressure on the towers right here. There we go, porting in actually onto Devour, who's hidden in the jungle. Here comes the nuke damage, a lot of magic damage taken, but he can take and Devour's actually going to live. Turns around on Dr. Repulsor. Now Witch Slayer and Thunderbringer are on the run. The Sand Wraith ultimate doing a lot of damage as well. He ports in on top of Witch Slayer. Witch Slayer will be going down here. Who will get the kill? That was the question. He throws out a Graveyard Stun, just trying his best to survive. Not going to happen though, and down goes Witch Slayer. Legion team gets credit. Meanwhile, down here, we have Thunderbringer chasing out Andromeda, trying to juke. Not going to happen. Thunderbringer with the auto attack finishes him off, but can Thunderbringer not get away? Devour is on the run. Thunderbringer Can he make it out of here? Yes, he can, and he's going to be fine, it looks like. So that's going to be the end of that fight. Good getaway in the end, but great turnaround right there once again from XTU. Forsaken Archer is pushing the top lane, but I definitely still think XTU did a good job right there.
Yeah, they did, and it was very, very lucky to actually get that TP out there. Devourer just not thinking about going for that bit of a blind hook to check around that side corner. Obviously, use that fog of war, get yourself out of trouble, and the Tier 1 tower should go down up here on the top lane. No defense actually coming. Surprisingly, actually, from XTU, they actually let that one go as they're still moving around inside their own lanes, still farming up, because I would have thought there might have been one TP come to that one, possibly on cooldown, especially after the massive rally that came in towards the middle. So, yeah, big play actually coming out from both sides right now. Devourer going to get himself caught out at the moment. Thunderbreaker spam, Dr. Repulsor straight in there with the ulti, pulls him back in again, tries to kill him off there, and they do so exactly. Smackdown comes straight through from our big man. He is the local substitute.
Yeah, that's very true, and as you mentioned, he is playing the Dr. Repulsor, which in fact we did see him play early in the tournament as well. We have an issue catching Andromeda. Here comes the Muggle. No, gets stunned actually, not going to happen. And instead they just finished off Andromeda. Now going to push this middle tower already at half-life. See the acid cocktail still bouncing around. While Legion team in a little bit of trouble here. They're down 2 heroes with the 5 heroes being up for eye. So this should be another easy tower kill for them. And this will give them a 3-0 tower kill advantage. So definitely a big aspect of the game, of course. 3-0 in tower kills. Not only does it give you that gold advantage, but it also gives you that sight and, being able to teleport advantage. There's a lot of things that come into play with tower pushes like this, map awareness and everything. So Ice, no doubt, has that advantage going for them. Forsaken Archer, she has recovered very nicely from the beginning. And Thunderbringer and Dr. Repulsor have both been doing very, very well themselves. So right now, if I did have to do momentum, obviously it would be in favor of Ice. But you can never say a game is, easily in one hand's favor when you're going up against a Standard Wraith. We've seen it too many times. A hero like a Standard Wraith, Dark Lady, another hero, where, maybe not up to the greatest start, but they just recover, and all of a sudden they're just taking over the game.
Yeah, you're completely right. It's like you can never say, like, it doesn't even matter if you're down by 20 kills. It can still turn around. It just depends what heroes you got and how you actually play. If you get that timing right, it all comes down to timing. Andromeda got caught out, thought she could have a go, threw out the Aurora, instantly told them exactly where they were. Dr. Repulsor just jumped straight in the back of it, goes straight past the tower, and it's all over Red Rover. There's nothing else you can actually do from there. So you just got to watch out for all these teams and with the way they're moving. You were so right, though, with the Tier 1 towers going down. The map control is going to get so much harder here for XTU. They need to buy more wards, it's going to cost more money, and they've got a counter ward as well. Make sure you actually stay on top of that wards that will be coming out from Ice. They're going to want to try and pin XTU down and make them fearful of actually even going out past their Tier 2 towers. Because obviously the towers are like something, you hug them. They're like your mother kind of style for Hon. And, they're suckling at the nipple for that one, and I just don't know how long you can actually do that for.
Oh, well, right now, Sandwraith is actually just farming the middle lane right here. Just trying to keep surviving. Again, he has a helmet of the Black Legion already, so he did decide to go that tanky style. Again, you're talking about the tower pushes. There is kind of a good thing, believe it or not, for the Legion team as a result of some of these tower pushes. It does have, with the first ones being pushed at least, it does give Sandwraith the opportunity to farm these pushed up lanes. And, as long as they have ward of sights and can spot people coming for ganks, he should feel confident. Again, we talked about that earlier. Sandwraith, a very confident hero in terms of farming by himself because of his ultimate and also because of his curse ability where he can just pour through and go through everything. So he's right now, in fact, coming to the bottom lane, going to continue to farm down here. And just exactly what I'm talking about. The lane is pushed up, so he comes down here and starts farming this lane. So, the tower kills, yes, it is in favor of Ice, but still, at least the Legion team can take somewhat of an advantage out of this. We do have a pause, though, from the Hellborn team, so again, we'll get that figured out and see what that is about. But right now, it's an 11-10 hero kill advantage in favor of Ice. This is game 1, remember. It was the best of the 3 series. This is really a back-and-forth game once again, and it's what we expected, honestly, in this series as a whole, to be really back-and-forth, an excellent series from what we've seen so far at this event. And there's a lot of money on the line, because we didn't really point it out this way, but honestly, if you win the series, you guarantee yourself at least $4,000.
You do. Like, whoever wins this one does actually walk away with that much money, and they have the shot at a big 10 grand.
Yeah.
It is a big thing, not to mention the pride. It's all about pride.
That's always a good thing, too.
Pride's good.
You can say, we won the DYA tournament with, easily, arguably a lot of the top teams in the world at it, Yeah. No big deal.
Well, you got to say, the best teams in the world are here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, there's no way you can really go around that one. These guys are still the best. The game is getting resumed up again, so obviously something might have been slightly wrong. Taller break, I don't know. He didn't run that fast, and he can't pee that fast, so it must have been something technical.
Something happened.
Yeah. It's either that or he's got a bottle standing by.
Hey, you know, wouldn't be surprised. You know, just want to make it quick, right?
Devour,
by the way, is farming right now in this middle lane. He did choose to go the Mystic Vestments early on. So, obviously, adding on to the magic armor that, of course, he already has from the Cadaver. So, we have seen him, be quite the tank already. And against the Hellborn team, we haven't talked too much about that, but they do have quite a bit of magic damage, starting with Thunderbringer, of course. So, Devour definitely a very valuable pick for that situation. Right now, though, we're kind of in that farming state now, 18 minutes into the game, both teams sitting back. Although Ice, they definitely have heroes that can take advantage of this. At the same token, though, we keep going back to the Sand Wraith. You want to keep your mind on Sand Wraith. It's not the worst thing to have happen right now. I mean, yeah, he hasn't been getting that much farm, but you can't stress it enough. Just as long as you keep it in the back of your head. Now, with the Helmet of the Black Legion pickup, he's had that for a while. So again, it kind of makes you wonder if he's going for maybe something like that Mock of Brilliance next. We talked about that earlier. Very powerful pickup on him for many reasons, and we'll have to wait and see if he chooses to go that. But at the same token, again, Forsaken Archer has been having a very good farm herself. She's, in fact, it looks like she may be working on a Shrunken Head according to the item. So that, of course, will be, as always, a very solid pickup. However, you do have to remember the Devour Ultimate and the swap from Andromeda do go through the Shrunken Head. So although it will be powerful for stopping a lot of damage and, preventing some of the CC, it doesn't prevent all of it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I actually want to make a little bit more comment on Sand Wraith. He has actually died 3 times. 4 assists to his name as well, though. But that Mock of Brilliance, it is just so good early on in the game. But if you have a horrendous start, it's not a massively horrendous start, so you can still farm yourself back up to it, but it does really put you back. You need to have that Mock up by 25 to make it really, really worthwhile. Yeah. Obviously, late game, it still does help, but there is just that point where you go, hang on, is it worth it? Should I try and morph myself into a different type of item build coming out from this one? Everyone else is farming up. Devour is going to be the tank anyway, so maybe I should just still go the pure DPS and go Mock.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, on top of that, the Mock of Brilliance is definitely one of those items, like we referred to. It's the 3,400 gold for Sword of the High. It's one of those, you can maybe farm for it, but you have to be willing to adapt. If it doesn't work out, if you keep getting ganked, if you die a couple of times, just say screw it and go something else. We have seen it where players, they're just so set on getting a certain item for the longest time. We've seen in the past, players, they want to get a Runed Axe, and 40 minutes later, they finally get a Runed Axe, and you're like, 40-minute Runed Axe, that doesn't do anything for you. Like you said, it's kind of the same thing with the Mock of Brilliance. If you can't get it, 25, 30-minute mark, maybe, it kind of loses its overall usefulness, and you might as well have been better off spending it on other items. So it's been a very slow game, by the way, lately. I mean, there hasn't been too much action happening. Again, we're really in that. Catching throw right there. Huge! The wall goes up. There's the ultimate from Devour on top, and there goes the kill. Malphus coming out as well. Catching Dr. Pulsar action. Can they finish him off? He ports away. Does he have enough mana to get officially out of here? Sandwich not porting in. There he goes. Back, trying to catch Dr. Pulsar. Can he chase him long enough? Devour is trying to stay just in range. Maybe. No, he's going to turn around, and it looks like, wow, they might actually get away after that, but Pharaoh was the victim right there. But maybe the Legion team will make a push out of this now, seeing that they have Malphus up and at least 4 players up here. So here we go.
What an escape. What an engagement. Devour that one time. We were talking about it very, very early on, about you throw one tug out there. He goes for a blind one again. He knows someone is up there. It's just like, yeah, someone's got to be defending this tower, and in they go straight away. Forsaken Archer just showing himself to Devour for just a second. Malphus still taking the tower. The TPs are coming in there. They want to get Andromeda. Tormented Soul's going to do the job as well. It's coming straight over the top. There goes the stun. They're on Devour. Are they going to fight it? No Hellbringer ulti is still on the ground at the moment. They're still killing off one aside at the moment. Pharaoh still on the attack. Try and push Hellbringer back. Thunderbringer as well. All in support. It is a mass retreat here from XTU. The crippling volley does come out. Hellbringer gets brought down. Jester will escape, but 3 of his teammates lie dead in the ground.
Yeah, it was unfortunate right there for the Legion team. Sand Wraith, his ultimate was down, unfortunately. He used it earlier, so you got to take that into consideration if you're the Legion team on that push. They wanted to try to get the tower, but they were already so far back. You got to pay attention to the resurrections, and unfortunately, they were not able to take advantage of him coming in to help them. So that was kind of a mind slip. What was a great play from XTU catching Pharaoh. They really should not have overextended and pushed all the way out there, especially without Sand Wraith. So a little bit of a mind lapse, but again, it happens. So right now, 14-12 hero kill advantage in favor of Ice. With that said, on the same token, the Hellborn team still has all their towers up. So the Legion team, they really at least want to get one of these tower kills, a couple, start getting that gold added up. And again, we talked about earlier with the map awareness and everything, but they were not able to do so. So good job by Ice putting the defense on. Now 22 minutes into the game, we're still, it looks like we're now once again back into that farming state. So we'll see how that goes. Which they're right now doing his thing in the middle. Currently only steam boobs and power supply. We got Pharaoh falling back right now. By the way, we did see Hellbringer had a Shaman's headdress on him. So Barrier Idol, definitely something that very likely going to be in the making. Will be a very useful item, really in most games. So we'll see as soon as he gets that finished, if he does choose to go that. But right now he does have the Shaman's headdress, but you would expect that.
As you definitely would, because a lot of these guys, they won't actually really know what items they're going to go until they actually appear back into the lanes, which is a bit of a downside too. Like Sandwraith, he's been disappeared for a very, very long time. You kind of know he's going to go for the mock anyway, but it's like, what's he actually going to come up with when he actually shows himself? Is he going to be there? It's really going to catch the Hellborn team off if it's there, or if he's actually gone for something else. You just never know. It's just one of those things that's just like the mysteries of life.
Yeah, you really don't. And again, we're talking about that earlier. You gotta keep him in mind. And honestly, it doesn't seem like Ice they haven't really attempted to gank him all too often. Albeit he is a very difficult hero to gank, so it really makes it difficult. You need to at least have 2 or 3 people there and a lot of CC, a couple of stuns. You look at this Hellborn team, it pretty much requires heroes like a Witch Slayer, Forsaken Archer to be able to lock him down. Because we talked about already, the Mummy Wall from Feral won't do anything, unfortunately, because you can just use the his curse and just go right through it. So it is difficult right now for this Hellborn team to manage him. Of course they know that they don't want to let him farm, but at the same time, it's easier said than done to actually stop him from farming. So right now, they are having a little bit of trouble with that, and so despite them having the hero kill advantage and the good tower push and Forsaken Archer doing his thing, we saw the Shrunken Head in fact finish on her, so a very good item pickup. But it's just always in the back of their head. So we'll see how it plays out for them and if they can recover. We do see the Sword of High, by the way, on Sandwraith as he is now exposing himself at the bottom lane. So he is going for that Mock of Brilliance. We will have it very shortly, you got to expect. That's going to be dangerous for the Hellborn team. Yeah,
it definitely will. Like, that Mock of Brilliance will just later push out every single lane, and it's really going to be hard to actually come back from. So you got to be very, very careful when that actually, the haunt goes off, and it'll be absolutely everywhere on the map. Everyone gets done, and including getting done, it will be Kongor actually dying here. Dr. Repulse will be the one to actually take the token of life, and that's definitely going to help to actually push this one back out again. So obviously we weren't talking about that one while it was actually happening, considering the players can actually hear us. Obviously the lack of wards to know it's actually happening. It's either that, or they just said, you know what, I don't think we can actually stop them. Let's just pull back.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, too, wow, that was close. Witch Slayer tried to Graveyard Stun Sandwraith there just before he finished porting. If they might have been able to lock him down, that would have been really, really close, but he was able to get away, as we saw. So, yeah, he's going to be fine. But, yeah, on top of that, too, Sandwraith used his ultimate just prior to that Kongor attempt. He was scouting out. They weren't necessarily around Kongor, so he really couldn't get that idea. So I honestly think it was just blind. They had no clue that they were doing Kongor. And sure enough, when they noticed that they weren't really anywhere on the map, maybe they figured near the end, but by then it was too late. So good job right there by Ice sniping Kongor. And now, as you mentioned, they got that token of life to work with, so very, very powerful item. It gives them a 6 mana, as you like to say. Devour's going to try to hook. Oh, he hits that creep, though. Trying to manage a hook on Dr. Repulsor. Unfortunately, not successful, so he's going to have to fall back. He has a 3-man push going on right here. Voodoo Jester, Hellbringer, and Devour. The Hellborn team also sending in their players to the middle lane, so we're going to have a good old-fashioned middle standoff right here. We'll see who makes the first reaction. You got to be wary, of course, of that Devour and where he's going to be lining up to land those hooks.
So what I love at the moment is the fact that Sandwraith has not stopped farming up that top lane. With the Mock of Brilliance actually done, when the Mirage actually comes off, here we go, Repulsor runs up a Hellbringer, Devour hooks out as well, wants to get Witch Slayer off, that managed to claim one so far, but Repulsor's still going. Look at that big Devour, still rippling through, everything's going off. Repulsor finally takes a fall, token of life will fire off, so he won't go down, he'll come back to fight another day, still moving on through, just getting down the Andromeda, coming on through, Devour on the back, Sandwraith trying to escape, he came into that one, did not want to be part of that one, Thunderbringer escapes on a B-stick of health, and wow, what a game from both teams there to actually get through that with 2 to 3 deaths going each way. That's I was expecting everyone to die. There should have been a genocide in the back of that one.
Wow, well, there was Andromeda made a very good swap on a Voodoo Jester. Voodoo Jester ended up surviving, but in the end, it was one of those, it didn't really all do too much in the end, because as we saw Hellbringer pop back right there, trying to save his teammate. Unfortunately, could not get there in time, and could not get the ultimate off in time to save Sandwraith. and in the end, they weren't able to make any use of it. They almost got the kill on Thunderbringer, but it was able to pour it out. Good reaction by Jaw right there to pour it out and be fine. So good, excellent fight from Ice right there. Now 18-14 in hero kills, 27+ minutes into the game. So we did get an idea of that Mocker Brilliance though during that fight. Unfortunately, they did not have that. They did not get the Hellbringer ultimate off. So, but you got to figure out with the Hellbringer ultimate on top of his him doing his AoE damage, there's going to be a lot of it coming out. The Hellbringer team will definitely have to worry about that. But that was a good, smart play from Ice right there. They took the initiation. Again, they do not want to allow Devour to hook somebody in and then have to react to that. They want to be the ones to go in first, and Dr. Pulsar showed that, and they were able to follow it up nicely. So well fought right there from Ice. But again, we still have a hell of a game right here, and this is only game 1 in the best of the 3 series right now.
Yeah, that is because you got to actually praise Dr. Repulsor for that one too. Great initiation coming through, and great support from his team as well to actually work so well. These guys of like the sub player from Singapore, they've only known him for a very, very short time, but to actually have that response time, to actually have that knowledge to work as a team like that, that is just something amazing. It just shows you the skill of these players of how well you can actually gel so fast. And well, there's going to be a lot more farming. There's going to be a lot more pressure here because obviously the Legion, they've got to get themselves on back. You lose a battle like that one, you're only one down from that one, but still, token of life, it should have been equal across the boards. But as far as money goes, as far as XP goes, they're still a little bit further down. They need to make a little bit more opportunity for themselves, try and get themselves back in control of this match, which they did actually have to start with. But now it's leaning towards Ice.
It is. But there's Sandwraith. I mean,
yes,
we can't say that enough.
Can't ignore it.
You can't say that enough. There's always Sandwraith to worry about. He has the Helmet of the Black Legion, Mocker Brilliance now. He actually just got his little red booty, so he obviously didn't have to worry about that. You know, you being able to use his curse to get out of there, and his ultimate as well. So not a big deal that he didn't have boots necessarily. Although a little bit different, but he did have his now he has his boots right there. So he's looking good. But Devour in the meantime, again pushing the middle lane. He's still sitting on the Mystic Vest, and he's picking up a Mighty Blade as well. He can turn that into several things. Of course, Staff for the Master is a fairly popular pickup on him, but also, of course, Shrunken Head would be allow him to channel his ultimate a little bit more effectively. So we'll see what he decides to go for. But right now, both teams, once again, it seems like this game there's a matter of an intense action fight, and then couple of minutes, I'll just sit back and farm, then an intense action fight, and it just seems to be a rinse and repeat. Whether or not, again, who has the advantage as a result of that, it's tough to say. I mean, you look back at the Sandwraith, you got to like him, but at the same time, they have the advantage in map awareness. They have the advantage, Forsaken Archer is looking really good. Once again, she has her Firebrand. Got to figure looking to be turning that into a Geometer's Bane. And then, of course, Dr. Repulsor, he's been getting by as well. He, in fact, picks up an Acolyte Staff already with his Blessed Orb, so he's going for a Sheep Stick. He'll actually have that very soon. Split him into a nice field goal right there from Devour. Unfortunately, that does not got hooking, but Pharaoh's going to try to counter right on him. They're catching him. Out comes the Malphus, though. Trying to save him. Not going to happen. There goes the Thunderbird ultimate now coming out. Sandwraith also using his. Trying to get as much AoE damage as possible. But the Hellborn team is overwhelming XTU right now. Just so much damage coming out from them. They're all 5 still up. Unbelievable. And Sandwraith is just going to try to get away right now. He's trying to escape, and it looks like he's going to be fine. But all 5 still up for the Hellborn team. They kill Malphus. They're going to make a tower push. That was a huge team fight right there for Ice.
That's a big turning point right there. Like it was close for XTU to actually come back and go, you know what, we're a little bit down, but we can get ourselves back on top with that one big fight. They'll just be able to make this the hardest battle of their lives to actually come back from that big loss. 4 heroes going down, big team fight, but not a single one going down for Ice. That's the big hurt. That is definitely the big hurt that are all there to all share in the XP.
The second time we've seen Devour miss a hook, and then the Hellborn team reacts to it. As I was talking about from the very beginning, it's a great hero for initiating, but he has to land that hook. If he doesn't land that hook, the other team will take advantage. They know it's on cooldown. They will go in like they've been doing and wipe you out. So we've seen it now back-to-back times where the Hellborn team has capitalized on that. And, that's unfortunate for this Legion side because they do have a Sandwraith that is very farmed at this point, arguably the best farmer in this game, and, very scary. But, without the appropriate support and without them landing their abilities, he's only going to be able to do so much, at least at this point in time. So it's going to be interesting. Ice, no doubt, has that overwhelming advantage now, so we keep going back to that. I think it's safe to say they are looking really good right now. And despite that Sandwraith farm, this Legion team, they definitely have a lot to work on. And like I said, it pretty much starts at this point with Devour being able to land those hooks and then being all 5 and being able to fight in team fights together.
Yeah, completely agree. Like, if they get that initiation, as we were talking about before, it's all about the initiation. You get that start, and you're all good. Devourer, if he lands the hook, everything can turn around. That one team fight can work for them. But obviously, Ice, they know this. They want to get that initiation. We've seen Dr. Repulsor do it multiple times, and well, even then before it was Witchslayer trying to come up from the side. Everyone's taking turns in trying to do it. They've got a lot of options as well between Forsaken Archer to lock them in place. You also have the Witchslayer. You literally have a Hex as well as a stun under that one. You have the pull that can come out from Purify. You can have the wall of mummies that can come from Pharaoh. If you want any more initiation, take Thunderbringer out, you might actually get one. But at the moment, they've got more than what they need to actually do it. And it forces people like Hellbringer to drop their ulti, clear out the forest, and try and drop that Malphus down. They even took the Malphus at the end of it and took all the gold from that one. The Jester bouncing stun, it's got to be on top of it. Devourer, if he doesn't get his hook, well, there you go, you've lost him. And Andromeda can always get the stun off. So it's just one of those things where who's going to get the initiation off, who's going to have to waste their spells to try and actually get themselves back in control.
Well, the problem with this is now because of those two big team fights and the Hellborn team getting that slight advantage, or a bigger advantage now. The items are starting to show. We talked about earlier, the Sheepstick has been finished on Dr. Repulsor. Shrunken Head finished on Thunderbringer as well. Very interesting, by the way. It's not too often you see this Thunderbringer job building a very, very tanking style Thunderbringer. Going with the Shrunken Head. As I mentioned earlier, the Plated Greaves as well. Very interesting concept right there. But at the same time, I have seen it a couple times personally in the past, and it definitely, it can be very powerful. If he can stand in those team fights, if he can stand in those team fights, long enough to get multiple Blast of Lightnings off throughout it, he can definitely do some effective things. So it's always fun to see heroes built different ways, a little bit out of the norm. And of course, once again, Thunderbringer definitely doing that. But the Sheepstick on Dr. Repulsor, that's such a huge pickup. It gives him another very powerful CC tool. And you definitely should expect him to start moving around, especially him by himself even. He can now start setting up ganks by himself. I mean, he's level 16 with that Sheepstick. This Legion team, especially heroes like Andromeda and Voodoo Jester, need to be worrisome of that. Even Hellbringer, he doesn't have too much life himself. He doesn't have that life void, though, it can regen. But still, they need to be worried about even just pretty much a solo Dr. Repulsor at this point. But who cares about solo? 5-man push coming in here from from Ice here at the bottom lane. We do have another vote to pause, though. But this tower dropping fast, and it looks like they're just going to get an easy tower kill right here.
It's also interesting to note here, as Ice are pushing, it's actually them who actually called for the pause. So while the tier 1 towers are going down here, I think something's actually gone wrong. In fact, we've actually seen a disconnect here. I don't know if the computer's auto restarting or something. I don't know. We're having a couple of issues with that earlier on. But still, look at the moment. You got your two heroes. They just showed them. Actually, it's still in the middle lane there. Devourer was showing himself there. You're missing Sandwraith once again. He'll always have his ulti to jump himself down here. But as far as bottom lane defense goes, that creep is on there. They've taken the tower down, half defense, but there is nothing actually there to actually stop them. The good luck, have fun comes up, and we're back up and rolling again. But that tier 2 tower is going to go down with no defense. It's something which has been really weird and is puzzling me here from XTU. They're not trying to control the towers. They're just letting them go. The tier 1 towers went down with very little resistance, so when Ice says, let's push, they get it easily.
Oh, yeah, that's the 4th tower kill now, as you mentioned, and they're really keeping the momentum going. Dr. Repulsor, again, they did already use Token of Life, but Kongor is back up, so we did see, of course, Ice take it out earlier with very little to no resistance from the Legion team. By the way, Sandwraith finishing his Santa Boobs right there, so looking pretty good as he's just doing some farm in the jungle right now. As we talked about, he got the little red boobies a little bit later on. Pharaoh right now is actually in the middle lane with Dr. Repulsor and Forsaken Archer and Witchslayer all grouping up, making a push. And that's the other thing from Ice, too. Yes, they've been playing very aggressive getting tower kills, but they've also been doing a good job of preventing tower kills. I mean, again, they only have lost 1 tower at this point, and they've been reacting to all these tower pushes. In fact, we talked about that one up top here where they didn't have Sandwraith on the Legion team. They figured that they could just push it down after a good cleanup fight. But the Hellborn team, they all reacted. They poured it in, saved the tower, and ended up cleaning up the Legion team themselves. So very good reaction from XTU. And, right now it's XTU. It doesn't seem like they're playing aggressive enough. That's what I talked about from the very beginning. They got a team surrounded around Sandwraith where they need to play aggressive to be very, very active. And by the time, sure, he's still buying time to get farm, but at the same token, you're not really stopping much yourself.
Oh, Pharaoh's in! Pharaoh's in! He won't have a crack at the Jester. In comes Repulsor right over the top, right in the middle of the Hellbringer ulti. They could get one. They've got one. XTU have lost one. They're trying to fall themselves back in. Devourer now cuts back in, rots it off, gets one down as well. They're still fighting in the middle of this massive Malphus. 2 down for XTU. Dr. Repulsor still fighting on the side, but Devourer is just bringing everyone down. Repulsor tries to escape as Sandwraith comes through. There goes the Token of Life. Maybe this is the time to hit back. Repulsor is back up again, and hat trick comes out from him. He's so strong. And he's going to get one more. Sandwraith, he has a flying puzzle box right now. Turns himself around. Thunderbringer, lightning comes down. Out he goes. He's still alive, but one repulsor straight over the top. Quad kill comes out. And I think they picked an awesome sub.
Yeah, that, by the way, their sub is the ringer got the quad kill. By the way, we were talking about this yesterday. You talk about emotion here at the land scene. We were talking about Ice even and how much emotion they have. They definitely, I don't know if they could hear it on the mics or anything, but they're kind of right behind us, and they were screaming all throughout that, and they were obviously clapping after getting that Sandwraith kill, because that was huge. They really are getting an overwhelming lead right now. I mean, so we saw the Sandwraith in that fight. He was able to do quite a bit. He ended up killing Dr. Repulsor, but again, Dr. Repulsor goes resurrected with a token of life, a 6th life, as you always keep mentioning, and was able to come back into it. So right now, Ice is just looking to be very, very good spot. Again, though, this is only game 1. It's the best of the 3 series, so at the very least, XTU, they can regroup, kind of recover, go over what they did wrong, maybe what they can do different. And again, what I was talking about earlier, I really feel that they played very, very passive. They did not play anywhere near aggressive enough, starting with the Devourer, honestly. And while honestly, missing those hooks, it did cost them. You hate to pick out a certain player, a certain hero, but it really did. I mean, we saw those 2-team fights where he missed those hooks initially, and then Ice took advantage. They went in themselves, and it ended up setting a counterattack on. So
the hooks themselves, you can say the hook didn't hit, but they are so damn hard to hit sometimes. Like if there's anything that gets in the way, it's over. Yeah. It's over. And that hook does have a slow cooldown. I think the biggest problem at the moment is, even if he does go for the hook, he's looking for that initiation, then his team will jump. But the problem he actually has is his team isn't there when he actually doesn't get it right. So there's a lack of support, there's a lack to keep them all up here, and it's just too easy. It's just too easy for Ice to take advantage of it. So at the moment, though, 16 to 26, we are entering into the late game, of course. It's 38 minutes into this game so far. It's looking very, very good. I said at the start of this game that
40 minutes.
The longer this went on, Ice would love it. Yeah, 40 minutes is what I think I marked it at when we actually first started this one. This is when all the heroes, if they had a good start, will actually really come out here. We've got another pause here. We've got a mouse problem coming out from the Witch Slayer. So nothing but problems coming out from the Ice side. But you just look at their line and go, okay, they've had a very, very good start. Sandwraith, of course, was going to be the big one we mentioned also early on for XTU to actually take them later on into this game. He has the ability, he did get himself farmed up. You got that Mock of Brilliance up there. Warhammer on top of him now too. That's the only item he's actually managed to buy in the last maybe 10 minutes. Yeah. Still half expensive, but with his farm it should have been a little bit more. But you just got to look to that hero to get it.
The biggest problem with this team right now, their lack of burst damage. That's what it comes down to. They're relying a lot on AoE damage. They got Sand with his Mock of Brilliance, his Dissipate. They got Voodoo Jester, doing his thing with the Curse of Ground. And his, we'll stay away from that. Hellbringer with his Dot and even AoE Ultimate. We got, Devourer already mentioned. So they're relying on, they don't really have any burst damage. They really don't. I mean, so despite Sandwraith, that's the type of hero he is, though. He's not going to do burst damage. Well, he's going to just do a lot of damage over time, and you can't kill him because he's so tanky and he can get away. So that I think really is the biggest factor right now when it comes to XTU, especially when it comes to these team fights. They're just not able to drop any of the Hellborn heroes. Going to initiate on and drop it right here. Pharaoh catching him. Dr. Pulse supporting him. The hook missing everybody. Not going to happen. Malphus comes out, but now Hellborn trying to get away. This is, again, initiation from Ice, and they're going to capitalize. Dr. Repulsor, he gets a heal right there from his Astrolabe he just picked up. It looks like he's actually going to survive. So only Andromeda ends up being taken out. Really not that bad. But at the same token, they're going to lose Malphus right here. And again, as you mentioned, here comes the push. What can the Legion team do? They don't have Andromeda, but if they can let a hook right here, if they're feeling confident, we'll see.
There it goes! They got it!
But the Shogun used by Devourer. He gets locked down over. There goes the Spirit Ward out from Voodoo Jester, and kills are happening. Purifier with yet another kill. Devourer, though, which is trying to doing as much damage as possible. Trying to chase down this Forsaken Archer. You see Sandwich doing a bit of damage. Forsaken Archer down. The Smackdown attempt. There it goes. And a Smackdown kill. No, never mind. No Smackdown, actually. Someone else got the kill. But Sandwraith comes through once again for his team. And look at that. One turnaround there. Catching Thunderbringer. Trying to finish him off now. The stun comes out. There's the Ancient Creeps to join the party as well. And down goes Thunderbringer as well. Dr. Repulsor, the only survivor. Wow, what a turnaround fight right there from XTU. This game is not as over as I thought it was.
That, you got to applaud. XTU just made that out of nothing. You said one hook. One hook is all you need. He pulled him in. He did it well. They managed to pull him out. Dr. Repulsor jumped straight at the top of everything. Said, I'm just going to kill this guy at the back. And then just realized, oh crap, the rest of my team is dying. And it all went downhill for them from there. And look at this, straight up here. XTU goes, okay, cool. What are we going to do? Get our map position back. Tier 1 tower down on the mid. The Tier 1 tower on the bottom lane is slightly hurting, but they're not going to be able to push it out just yet. But they're getting at least one tower down, get that map position back, and gain some control back here from the powerhouse of Ice, which they have been the powerhouse for the last 20 minutes. I said 40 minutes that Ice should be getting on top. XTU, they wanted to prove me wrong.
Yeah, no, they really do, and they're definitely doing that. I mean, I agreed with you, but after that fight, you have to look at it. Again, something we really haven't brought up either is the Hellbringer Life Void. That's adding on a lot of damage between Devour and Sandwraith, between his Dissipate and his Mock of Brilliance. You're talking about a good amount of damage. So the Hellbringer, the fact that he survived there initially, I honestly think is what really made that fight happen. He did not have his ultimate, but I think the Life Void and his dot damage were enough to make a big, big difference. By the way, we see Sandwraith, so after that fight, he got enough farm. He now has a shield breaker, so we're talking about, getting that physical first damage in there. He's starting to work on that, and that's really good news for him. I like the Showbreaker pick. I was going to say no one else on this team can really take huge effectiveness of it, but it stacks well with Andromeda. Obviously, here Aurora, we're looking at, -6 from the Shieldbreaker. I believe it's -5 from the Aurora. So -11 armor between those two abilities, and of course the Aurora is going to be used every single fight. You're looking at a good amount of damage that Sandwraith is going to be able to put out, physical damage now on single targets.
Yeah, it is just great. And here we go, straight towards the middle. Aurora comes up, exposes the Pharaoh as well as his friends up on the other side, waiting for the right time. Devour comes out of Invis, went for the hook. Forsaken Archer already going back. Oh, big engagement here in the middle. The Bloodbath goes off, and Tom is the first one to go down. Devour got caught out as well. The Malphas ulti has dropped off here, but XTU, bad time to engage. They do manage to pick off the Witch Slayer, who ran up high towards the top rune, but it's all about Devour getting on the back of that one. But there's blood still on the ground, and 2 for 1. It was a weird engagement. He had the invis. He could have seen around. They could have got a little bit more of a pull, and in the end he pulled him maybe a meter towards him, and I was just like, you know what? Wall of mummies, I'm surrounded again. This might not be the best way for me, and it cost 2 of his teammates their lives.
That was one of those fights, though. The Legion team, Sandwraith especially, he was like, it wasn't really worth it for him to go in there. He figured it would have been best for him to save farm, and that he did. So he did farm that top lane while that fight was going on. It's a little bit unfortunate that he didn't import in. Maybe, they might have been able to get some kills and maybe save somebody, but they could have just as easily gone the other way around where he could have, in fact, even died. So he chose to play it safe and just sat up there and got his farm. He did use his ultimate, of course, but did not end up porting with it. Speaking of the Thunderbringer build, continuing to be very interesting. He actually goes barbed armor now, so he's just really sticking on that tanky style build. I'll tell you this much, that barbed armor and the plated greaves are very effective against the Sandwraith Shieldbreaker, no doubt, in the Aurora that we were just talking about, so that's good for him. We're having some mouse issues. Unfortunately, that might even be our last pause, so hopefully...
That's actually done by XTU. It's a cool thing.
Yeah.
XTU, I said, we've got a mouse problem. XTU, can you pause it? Not a problem. Straight away.
Yeah. You'd hope to have good manners here, but yeah, definitely good manners by them. The thing is, though, there's only 3 pauses per team. I know Ice has already used all their 3, and I believe that's 2 or 3 on XTU now, so hopefully there's no more problems, because... we might not be able to pause again, so hopefully everything goes smoothly. You would hate for that to happen. In a game like this, this is such a huge game. The semifinals game 1.
Have we got pauses?
Yeah, unfortunately not. There are no spectator pauses.
Fail.
I don't believe so, but yeah. So, but anyways, back to the game. Let's not worry about that, of course. Knock on wood.
We'll be fine. We'll get through this. Well, XTU get through this. It's quite possible. I still like... You're right with Sandwraith farming up the top. I thought that mid-battle with a 2-1 go down, it could have been worse. It was only the support heroes that died. The 3 main heroes, they did stay up. Devour actually got the kill as well. Sandwraith farmed up on the top. They did claim 1 down. Obviously, it was the support hero as well for Ice. And in the end, I think it's still pretty balanced. Even though it was 2-1 down. And wow, what a tongue! What a tongue! Pharaoh's right in there now, too. He ulted in. Dr. Repulsor wants to be part of it. And Thunderbringer, it was the wrong one he wanted with that barbed armor going up there. Pharaoh's probably going to die. Devour's still on top of it right now, while Repulsor's killing on the other side. That is one big clown coming through. Thunderbringer should die here. No, he's still falling back. He's going to live. There's support coming through, but Witch Slayer, he's still on top of it. Sandwraith can't decide to actually come in this one. 1 hit from Repulsor. Managed to get a double kill off the back of that one. The fallback does come with 2 down from either side. They go for the volley. Hellbringer just out of range of it, and they can now push off this middle lane. Can they actually make the most of this one? I doubt it. Two down for either side. Still very level, but wow, what an engagement and what a follow-up there from Repulsor as well as Pharaoh.
Yeah, and, it was a great engagement indeed, but it was unfortunate that the Legion team was not able to react to it fast enough. They were very spread out, and ultimately Sandwraith was not able to do too much as a result of that. We talked about that. He has a lot of AoE damage between the Mock of Brilliance and the Dissipate, but if he's not in the midst of those team fights, it's not going to be doing all too much, unfortunately. So he was away from it for the most part, and so was Andromeda and Voodoo Chester for that matter. They weren't really in the brunt of that, but I got to tell you, that Shrunken Head pickup on Devour, very, very good pickup. I mean, we saw right there, he just went in the midst of that, pretty much all 5 heroes, and he locked down Pharaoh to the point where he killed him, just locking him down with his ultimate. So the Shrunken Head proving to be a very effective pickup for him, despite Dynamite there. He also did pick up a Portal Key, by the way, which he did have in that last team fight. So he did not going to use it, obviously, but a very, very fun item right there for him to use, and I'm sure we'll see him land some fancy hooks. So again, a little bit of back and forth fight there, but again, the second fight in a row, we didn't see Sandwraith really involved. So, but at the same time, he's getting that farm. It's scary. It really is. Has that firebrand.
Yeah, this is going to be a big, big problem here for Ice. It doesn't matter, as we were talking before, 9 kills up at the moment in favour of Ice, in favour of the Hellborn. They've got more towers down as well, but they're going to lose control of this one. Sandwraith is just one of those heroes, but he gets to that point where he is unstoppable. But it's the same with Dr. Repulsor. It's the same that's going to be coming out from all the Hellborn side. They're going to get themselves in there. They're going to get on top. The Pharaoh's been right on top of that one. Even Thunderbringer is farmed. It's just one of those things that it's going to take a lot to bring down this team. You're going to have to be in those battles for a very long time, and those late game items for Sandwraith, the longer he stays in it, the better it will be. Yeah. He will, leaving that path. They're keeping eyes on them. That Sandwraith just using that desert to get right up there, of course, through the curse, and just wants to keep tabs on this Hellborn side. They know Kongor is back up again. They know that the last 2 times they've taken it, and that live token really changed things.
Well, there's bananas this time as well on the third one, so they even more so.
So you do not want to let that one go. So it's going to be in everybody's mind for what they want to do. And, of course, all the teams, they'll be looking themselves around. They want to keep tabs on this one. Of course, easy to keep tabs on is the Sandwraith through the desert, because you also have the Tormented Soul coming out from the Pharaoh. He's just firing that one over the top there, wants to keep tabs on the teams, wants to know what's actually happening. But this is going to be a bit of a standoff, I think, because obviously you know it's up, you know it's a priority, but when are you going to go? Are you going to bait them? How are you going to go about this one? There's only so much you can do and so much you can commit, and you don't want to get caught down when you're going for a Kongor.
Well, Dr. Puts supports it on Andromeda, going to pick him up immediately. That's huge right there. Hook missing everything, actually. Shrunken Head activated on the Forsaken Archer, and Hellbringer chased down before. Oh, no, he got the Malphus off, but at what cost right there? Devour running in there with that Shrunken Head. Sandwraith porting in as well, doing all that AoE damage we're talking about, and Witchslayer dropping really fast. So is Dr. Repulsor. There goes Witchslayer. Dr. Repulsor dropping, but Devour gets taken out. Sandwraith is still alive. Where the hell is he? He's actually chasing Thunderbringer right here, and Thunderbringer will go down. So Sandwraith is giving up right now. There goes Pharaoh as well. Smackdown on him. He goes down.
One more.
Smack quad kill. Can he get the annihilation? Dr. Repulsor. He cannot. But Dr. Repulsor points out. But XTU have the momentum right now. Quad kill. That's why I said annihilation was on the brink right there, but could not pick it up. But we are seeing now the true power of Sandwraith. He's going to finish the Geometer's Bane more than likely very soon right here. And Kongor is still up, so they're not going to be able to capitalize on that, at least just yet. But wow, Ice, they got the initiation that time. They got a mistook and everything, but the Sandwraith showing his farm right there.
Mate, that was absolutely fantastic. When that first happened, the two heroes for the Sentinel went down like, oh no, this is over. That's a free Kongor. They're going to get the token. They're going to be able to push, and there's going to be nothing extra you can do. It's all going to stop. Sandwraith right in there, didn't even waste it, and perfect. Absolutely perfect. XTU, they couldn't have had a better result from that.
Yeah, that was perfect for them. And obviously they lost some heroes, but you got to expect that in going into a big team fight like that. You're going to lose heroes as long as that Sandwraith stays alive, and as long as he cleans up almost getting an annihilation.
Showing that Bane as well.
Yeah, he has a Geometer's Bane now, so you're just talking about more AoE damage. So you already got the 4 illusions technically, and then the 2 more. So yeah, it's quite a bit right there. And he is just, why not? Just at this point, you got to figure he's more than likely just going to be saving up for buybacks, which is always a very smart thing to do. Seeing that his items are pretty much full right now, you'd like to have at least one spot for a Homecoming Stone, which he has. But again, Kongor is still up as we talked about, so we'll more than likely see both teams once again kind of rinse and repeat cycle here. Now that everyone is up, hang out around Kongor, and both teams are going to scout out. Of course, you see Tormented Soul coming out from Pharaoh to scout things out and trying to see what he can see. Sandwraith, in the meantime, actually going to the top lane. But again, of course, with his ultimate, is able to pour it in.
Just came up cooldown.
Just came up, so yeah, he's able to pour it in if there's anything going to happen. Devour's going to blink in, actually catching Wards there, despite the struck. That's exactly what I was talking about. But Pharaoh knocks him off with his ultimate. Dr. Repulsor locking out somebody right there, and he gets the kill on Hellbringer. Malphus was not used. In fact, it was still on cooldown. 3 pickups just like that. And again, Sandwraith was not there. He's choosing to farm instead. That was one of those. I don't know about that. I really think they could have used Sandwraith there, but at the same token, well, they gave up a token of life. They got the Congo kill. Token of life picked up on somebody. They got the bananas. So that's a give and take right there. Whether it was a smart decision, definitely debatable. But Sandwraith did do all that farming. Did not even use his ultimate for that matter. His ultimate is still off cooldown, actually.
I think he thought he could get the rags. He didn't think Congo was down that far. And with the 3 heroes there, they got themselves caught out. And now you can see the counter push come straight in towards the middle. The still push coming from the top there. It was actually coming from the illusions, and that tower's down to half HP. But it's all about the tier 2 tower in the middle lane for the Legion side, with Repulsor, with Thunderbringer, with Witchslayer, Forsaken Archers in the middle of it as well as Repulsor, who's hanging around the neighborhood. But Sandwraith comes up. He can defend it. They won't push against him. A level 25 Sandwraith here is all ready to defend. Wouldn't even worry. But yeah, I hardly agree. Sandwraith needed to be during that battle. Without him, they can't take this side, especially when it's 5 heroes versus 4.
Yeah, it's. I'm still thinking back at that. The fact that he didn't even use his ultimate really does shock me. I thought at the very least he just chose not to pour it in, but not using the ultimate. I'm honestly not too sure what he was thinking right there. That really is unfortunate, and yeah. So, but the Hellborn team, they of course capitalized. They were able to push another tower as a result. They got the token of life and bananas now. So it was looking to be a momentum builder for the Legion team. After that, honestly. It's going to be really difficult now because, sure, yes, Sandwraith still has this very farm status. He's still pushing a lot of damage, but we've already seen the Token of Life come into play, and as we always see, it is a big effective item. And now on that Dr. Repulsor, it's going to give him that second life as well as bananas. Yeah,
he's a hungry hero.
He has both. So, yeah, it's like he has good luck killing him at this point, and that's unfortunate for them. So Savage Mace, by the way, also finished on Forsaken Archer. We saw him working on that earlier. Now finishing that. So just, although you wouldn't expect Forsaken to get as carried as a Sandwraith, but at the same token, she still is getting the more farm.
Yeah, it is true. Like, Sandwraith can actually still take this through. There is nothing that's going to stop it. In fact, Sandwraith now looks like actually got rid of the TP scrolls. Doesn't actually want. You don't need them either. Not with the ulti that's up there. Actually, as I say that, just prove me wrong. Thank you very much. Yeah, love that. But you just got to keep your eyes open for there's got to be another item. They've got to get stronger. You've got to have that Sandwraith completely unstoppable, have maxed out items, and then save up for the buybacks. Obviously, you're going to need them later on, especially when you get pushed. But there's just got to be that time when you go, okay, we have to initiate, we have to take a risk. It's going to cost us money to do so. It's going to cost us with buybacks, so we need to get back again. It's going to cost us lives. We might get one Rax, but if they can get a Rax, if one team, there's still no Raxes down. We're 52 minutes into this one, and the Tier 3 tower still has not fallen. Not a single Tier 3 tower has fallen. Sandwraith, Abia, Cracker, and Witchslayer up here on the top. I think it was just the Mirages going off. So it's all good. It's all good. I was thinking, is he really going to go that?
No. I think he's going to be fine, but
yeah,
he does have a lot of money saved up though, as expected. So he's at the very least he will be able to do a buyback now.
Yeah.
So that of course is something that the Hellborn team has to keep in mind. But we did see it, by the way, Hellflower picked up on Dr. Repulsor. A very, very awesome item pickup there. Obviously, with the perplex ability, silencing and not allowing you to use any items. Curious to see who he uses it on. To be honest, I mean, someone like a Sandwraith that does apply that dot damage as well. But at the same time, I mean, if you want to use it for the silence and perplex ability, you may be thinking it might be more efficient to use it on someone like a Devour. So we'll have to wait and see if they can get off. As there's no more pauses. We got one more pause. Thank God.
He's out of a mouse. His mouse is gone again.
The mouse
he managed to pull him back. I think they've actually got share control actually going for his character for when that actually happened, because instantly the second he lost his mouse, Hero got pulled back. So it was just like, oh my Hannah. But Tier 2 tower does go down the top lane, so they decide to actually push that one out. That is all the Tier 2 towers now down for the Legion side. And you look over towards the Hellborn, they've still got 2 of them, and they're still at max health. Yeah. Mid lane, bottom lane. If any lane is going to be pushed out here, if any of the racks is actually going to go down, it's got to be Sandwraith on the top. He's got to get himself in there. Even his illusions, like you saw how much damage. You jump yourself up towards that Tier 3 tower up there on the top. It's down half HP. His illusions were doing that.
Yeah.
He never actually entered the base. It was a small creep wave that came with him. The illusions wiped at the creep wave, and they continued to pound on that tower.
Yeah, Geometry Pain is very effective for that. We do see a lot of heroes whether the ranged or melee, they use those geometers beams for that purpose, of course. We do have an admin, by the way, on the stage trying to make sure about the mouse issue, because, again, with no pauses now officially remaining, you want to make sure that, of course, that does not happen again during the gameplay, because that would be really unfortunate. So they're getting that figured out right now, so it's going to give us a little bit of time here to go back on camera. How about that?
We can do, hey! Breaky's like completely throwing me off here. It's like, hi, guys.
Why the hell not? So we'll wait.
Screen
well, that's getting figured out. But, so yeah, it's I mean, again, coming into this game, expected this to be not only an even game, but an even series. And so far, we're getting it. We really are getting a hell of a game.
I still can't believe it's like 38 to 27 here at the moment. It doesn't seem that way.
It really doesn't. Well, that's the thing with the Sand Wraith. I mean, again, you kind of expect your team to be behind, because the other team, especially how active a team they are, they're going to set up those kills. But at the same time, as long as Sand Wraith gets that farm, you can never consider the game to be over. He can push, like you said, and at this point, they could just have 4 on defense and Sand Wraith pushing alone, and he can feel very confident doing so.
Yeah, you're right. He can jump out at a moment's notice too, because that's the awesome thing. Like, you do have his ulti, which is a great initiator and a great way of actually scouting people out.
Yeah.
But if you get yourself in trouble, if all 5 heroes aren't there from the Hellborn side, you can just jump to the one who's by himself, and he would probably die from that one as well.
Yeah.
So you just have that option. You have to be right on the ball, watch your mini-map, jump to it, and he's a very hard hero to actually kill. And even then, we've seen how much money he's actually got. It's up there on the screen for everyone to actually see as well. But just the amount of money he's actually got, the amount of farm he's actually had, he's been left. He's been left unchecked here by Ice. And if Ice actually lose this first game in the best of 3, they're going to
have themselves to blame.
Yeah, they will. And because Sand Wraith, it's not as though they keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Sand Wraith is no secret. It's like Dr. Repulsor is no secret. And I'm wondering if XTU actually gave it to him and just said, you know what, you can have it, we're going to beat you with Sand Wraith.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what we've been seeing lately. I mean, with a hero like Dr. Repulsor, there has been a lot of teams saying, we know we don't have the first pick, we'll go ahead and allow you to have him. And although in this case, he was picked up, I think, 4th or something like that. So he didn't even get first pick. Both teams were kind of going back and forth with it, and no one wanted him. But yeah, you're right. Going back to if this game happens to be a victory for XTU, honestly, Ice, they need to look back and say we probably should have focused a little bit more, at least on Sand Wraith. Again, I know he's not the easiest hero to gank, but they really weren't spending any resources whatsoever on ganking him. It pretty much seems like that their strategy was, we know that he's going to get farmed. Why try to stop him? Let's just try to walk over the other 4 exactly, get the push going, and win our game in our style. But it's really is it's a dangerous risk right there, and we're in a very close game at this point, honestly, as a result of it.
It is. And you're really right. Like you said it perfectly. They were going to rely on their push. They're going to rely on their style. No Rax has gone down. Now, I've been commentating this game type for a very long time, and always the hardest thing to do, the hardest thing to actually get, is this stupid ramp that takes you into Tier 3.
Yeah.
Into the Tier 3 tower, to bring that down and to gain the racks. It is so hard. You are this far into the game, though, so it's a lot easier, because obviously we're around the 30-40 minute mark.
More items,
you got a little bit more. You can tank the tower by yourself if you want to. There's no backdooring allowed in this competition.
No.
You must have a creep wave actually come in with you, and then you can go completely gaga in the middle of the bases. But it's just one of those things where you go over that hill, fight from the low ground, get to the high ground, the other team can wall it off. It's not even a turtle at this stage, because it's just literally both teams going at each other. It doesn't matter where they are on the map. You can be fighting from high ground, low ground.
You always have to keep in mind about your base. You can never leave you always have to carry homecoming stones, at least a couple of players, if not all of them. And you always, because we keep talking about Sand Wraith, he will go behind, and he will kind of catch you off guard, even though you're pushing. He will push himself, and it kind of makes it a kind of a trade exchange. So it's going to be interesting. Are they resuming?
We're going again?
Looks like we are resuming here, so we'll go right back into it. All right, so again, no more pauses left, so hopefully everything's good, but I'm sure it is. The admin's worth checking it out. And it seems like it should be good to go now. All right, so 38-27 hero kill advantage in favor of Ice right here. Again, we pretty much talked about where we're at right now and what's happening as a result of it. By the way, Shrunken Head is the go-to item in this game. It's in fact, I'm looking at everyone on the Hellborn team. 4 of the 5 players have a Shrunken Head, including Witch Slayer. So I'm a little bit curious at that. I mean, there is a lot of magic damage coming out from Sand Wraith, and I honestly think they're using those Shrunken Heads more so to prevent the magic damage rather than actually using it for CC purposes. So that's interesting there, but at the same time, again, we've been seeing some very interesting builds, including this Thunderbringer, as we keep going back to with that Barm Dorman now actually picking up a Beast Heart with a Mana Tube, so an interesting combination there. Could eventually turn that into something like a Sacrificial Stone, but that's a lot of farm down the road. So right now, again, we're now 54 minutes into the game. We're kind of at the point where it's neither team is going to overextend at this point. right? You got to play safe, maybe even wait for next Conqueror, dare I say. Of course, it was about 5 minutes ago, so you got about 5 more minutes remaining on that. But expect both teams to play fairly passive right now. No one wants to make a mistake. So much money on the line, such a big game.
It really is, too. Like, a best of 3. Like, a lot of people don't really realize this is a 54-minute game. Yeah. If this goes to 3, these guys are going to be exhausted at the end of this competition. It's really going to test their ability to actually have stamina. Are they going to have it? That's going to be a big question. How this game actually plays out too is going to affect how all the other games actually roll. The drafting, the way the players have actually gone, who's played what heroes. It's all going to go that way, and it's a lot. There's a lot for these teams to try and take at the moment. And the longer this game goes off, the more they get worn down, and the more Sandwraith is still farming up on the top lane. Unchecked. She just goes up there. It's just like, you know what? I'm going to keep this lane pushed. Maybe I can get in. Use my illusions again. I don't even have to go inside the main base. I'll just hang around. I can pop my ulti and just join the rest of my team while they control the other 2 lanes, try and push them out a little bit. But if that top racks, I think this here, the top lane, that tier 3, the ranged melee racks up there on the top, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
If XTU can take that out, then Ice is in trouble. Ice is in a lot of trouble. It doesn't matter how many Congors you kill, how many bananas you eat, how many tokens of life you actually have. If they take out that Rax, you are forever committing one hero to that top lane to defend it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And it is just kind of funny seeing that. Because, again, we talked about that earlier. That's what's going to happen. And, just seeing it executed is great. Because Sandwraith just constantly, if anything, he's not, as we saw right there, he didn't even push past the ramp or anything. But, it forces the Hellborn team to at least go up there and kind of make a stand, figuring that that's what he would be doing. So he's causing the distraction. That's what he wants. And then, like you said, too, he's getting an amazing amount of gold. Oh, my God. Okay, wow. He just, okay. So, anyways, the Hellborn team, they're going to fall back right now. And, kind of just, both teams, again, just kind of at a standstill right here. Really nothing going on.
It's some sort of scientific experiment we're currently just watching there as Dr. Repulsor joins the lane. Oh. Uh-oh. This I'm looking forward to. This I'm very, very looking forward to. By the way, we were just stopping ourselves for a bit because he hadn't been shown.
Yeah, that's why, yeah. Obviously, yeah.
You can now talk about it, I think.
Has he exposed himself? I don't think so. Well, we'll lay it out for now, anyways.
We'll wait it. We'll wait it out, and then when we can have a big chat about it after the battles. Bottom lane actually being pushed back out a little bit. Look at that tremendous ult just coming straight up the top there, and Season 3 heroes, Devour, Andromeda, as well as Voodoo Jester, ready to defend that bottom. You got Dr. Repulsor down there, Forsaken Archers down there, everyone's showing themselves, Pharaoh's down there, Thunderbringers showed themselves. Now the push is going to come on the tier 3. The Glimpse will be up their sleeve for this fight. Off goes Aurora, just trying to drop that armor down, waiting for the engagement to come through. It's just still hitting that tower. So many illusions from Forsaken Archer pushing on that tower. Andromeda wants to come out. No one's doing it. There goes the Glimpse. It's coming out late. The Tormentor Soul still going over. Nothing has really been wasted from Ice here. It's just the illusions from Forsaken Archer. Tower goes down. They're not defending. They're waiting for the right time to actually hit. Repulsor is just going for that melee barracks. Off goes the tongue and trying to catch one from the side. Doesn't gain anything. Jester wants to move up. They don't know the right time to actually go because the top lane's being pushed at the same time. That's the big thing. Now they go. Swap goes through. They're right on top of it. They want to bring down the Witch Slayer while the rest is going off on the bottom. Devourer munches down on top of him. Hellbringer's in the middle of it too. The oldie has dropped. It's the only thing left up from him at the moment. Pushing through that bottom. Repulsor. He's almost out of mana. He is out of mana now. Just pushing on the back. If the hat trick does come out from the Gosu, he claims it. But while that's happening up on the top lane, the top racks is gone. Sandwraith has claimed that one, but they've got to buy themselves back. Get yourselves back. Sandwraith has to make sure this doesn't become a double racks. This has to be one racks apiece. If it goes off any other way, they're in a lot of trouble, and it's going that way right now with 3 heroes in that town. No, here comes Sandwraith. Dr. Repulsor. Big hit. Token of life. What damage coming out. He's back again. There's the illusions which are having a crack at him. The tower's down. They're still up. Repulsor still hits. He doesn't want to leave. He has pitched a 10. Nailing it in. In we go again. Sandwraith illusion. A real one. He's almost got it. Repulsor bails. And he's back in again. He claims 1. He claims 2. Thunderbringer's still up. What a play. They're getting it to melee.
No, the Wraith.
Wraith buys back.
Can they get Forsaken Archer at least?
No!
It's attack! The auto attack. Smackdown right there. Wow, what a fight. Wow, they lost the racks. Sandwraith, though, barely chose to go back in. The Sheepstick, though, paying off dividends and actually getting the kill on him, but the buyback right away. Oh, so close to saving the melee racks.
I think I jizzed.
So close right there. Just not going to happen, though. So, yes, Ice is in a great spot right now, but by no means is this game over. Forsaken Archer is still down right now. The question is, will she be able to come back, of course? But, wow, what a fight right there. So the bottom is completely cleared out on the Legion base, as well as the middle, losing the melee racks. At the top, though, from the Hellborn team, it is cleared out, as we talked about. Was cleared out by Sandwraith, more so really is Illusion. So well done right there. But, we saw as well, when he poured it into the team fight, when it actually started going, he immediately actually ran away. I mean, it's kind of one of those, you gotta stand in there. It makes you also think maybe a Shrunken Head would have been a very valuable pickup on him, because that Sheep Stick is constantly being focused right on top of him, as well as the Hex, I'm sure, from Witch Slayer. And maybe Shrunken Head would have obviously would have prevented that. So definitely an item that could have been an effective choice, as we've seen several times in this game right now. But at the same time, he went Savage Mace instead, and well, he's putting on quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, this is. Oh my! I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from the first fight. It's like, the Devourer's in. Witch Slayer's caught out. Oh, he's one more down. 68 seconds in the send bin, and they were thinking. Let's just walk around in front of the Kongor pit. Yeah. I don't think so. I do not.
Look at this. Thunderbringer's being chased by Illusions. Actually, the Illusions doing a lot of damage to Thunderbringer. Can they actually bring him down? Those are Jayamer being Illusions. Here comes Forsaken Archer porting in. Oh, he's going to survive, but the Illusion's just doing so much right there. Thunderbringer actually almost died to them. Sandwraith is way too powerful right now. But yeah, so that was a huge pick though on Witch Slayer. Just a free kill for them, pretty much. Like you said, he's kind of wandering around. I don't know if he's warding or what, but I just got caught in a horrible spot. We have some more, but again, now teams are just deciding what to do. The top lane and all the lanes really being pushed for either team. Obviously, the bottom and middle for the Hellborn team, where the Legion team has the top lane. I'm going to go in right there, missing actually, but he goes the ultimate on for Forsaken Archer, locking him down right now. Dr. Pulse reports that Conquer fairly low. Here goes the Malphite's ultimate coming out. He is locked down, swapped though from Andromeda. Trying to save him, and Sandwraith's going on top of the hill right here. Farrell's dropping really low. He goes down to fact. There goes Dr. Impulsor dropping as well. But
it's big!
Team.
It's big!
Excuse me. Hellberg finishes off Dr. Impulsor right there. Can't Sandwraith get away? Their life right here. Is going to be able to survive. Forsaken Archer avoids the crippling volley. Out comes the ultimate. He's going to walk into it. No, he avoids it. Goes to the left. Can he get away at this point? He is trying with a slither of life, literally. Oh my God! It looks like he may actually get out of there. Are you kidding me? This game is getting so epic to finish right here. And wow, that's going to be it. But again, Conquer was really low. And it looks like the Hellborn team, they will Ninja Conquer right here. And they're going to get it. So all Conquer kills have happened for Imp. Or
give the bananas to the monkey.
No doubt that it's been huge for them.
Bananas to the Thunderbringer. Oh, that should really be brains, considering he is literally Igor, that Kongor. But what a play! What a play from both teams. For Sandwraith.
Look at the Shrine, by the way. The Shrine is exposed. It's already taken damage from that top lane push right there. So Ice is not in a good spot, but then you look back at the Legion team.
It's the same way.
Towers are being damaged at the base. This is just such an amazing finish here for game one. Honestly, it's going to be so close. Obviously, slight advantage for Ice. They have the middle racks cleared out as well. But, oh man, it's going to be such a crazy finish here.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. The lanes are going to push themselves. These battles, they go on for so long. You said Shrunken Heads for every single person on the Hellborn team. The battle goes a long time. And in that time, the creep waves push. But it's not just the fact that the creep waves will push. The superstars me creeps are in different lanes. It's the top for the Legion. That's where they're pushing out. It's the bottom lane for the Hellborn, as well as the middle as well. It's taking out their entire mid racks. It is 2 racks down at the moment. You got to watch from both sides. This is dangerous. This is dangerous times for both teams. Where they engage, how they push out, what lanes do you pressure? Yeah. So many questions that only they can answer.
It is difficult, but you see the Hellborn team pushing out the top lane. Of course, that is the one that's pushing for them, so that's what makes sense. The Legion team, they should be doing the same with the bottom and the middle lane, because those bigger creeps are pushing them in, and that's the last thing you want, of course, is your base to be exposed. Again, we talked about that. There is no backdooring allowed, so they do need a creep wave to push through. So as long as they can keep the creep waves pushed back, they don't need to worry about anyone going back in and ninjing the Sacrificial Shrine or the World Tree or anything like that. But at this point, the World Tree still has at least one defensive tower on it, where the Sacrificial Shrine we do see losing a little bit of life, but of course starting to regen now, as it hasn't been taking damage for a while. Oh dear God. Oh, dear God.
I don't want to know what you're saying.
Oh, dear God.
I don't want to know what you're saying. They don't know what you're saying. Waiting to actually push it out now. Top lane going down. Repulsor's up. Not only does he have the sheep stick, the demonic breastplate, the hellflower, throw the shrunken head. He is a beefy, beefy man. The mid's being pushed ever so slightly. Sandwraith, I think, will have a bit of a... He had
I want to comment on that real quickly. Sandwraith, he poured it into the base. He got 2 or 3 people to maybe teleport back, but he didn't attack anything, so technically it was not back.
And he's holding it down.
Second archer right now. Can he get the chase on for second archer? Chase the damage. Oh, and look at that. Sandwraith is going to hook though on the Sandwraith.
Save him.
Pulls him, man, and it is going to save him. He's going to be fine. Wow, talk about a great rune to be right there for Forsaken Archer. If that was not a double damage rune, he might have been going down right there. But a good job. But yeah, I cannot stress enough how huge that was by Sandwraith. He knew himself too. If he attacked, it would have been backdooring, but he did not attack. You're allowed to go in as long as you do not attack anything.
But they TP'd.
And they TP'd. So he drew them in there. That was huge right there. But here we go. Now they need to worry about setting up a defense because the middle and the bottom lane are being pushed in. The top lane is pushed up to the Legion base right now.
That it is. They're ready to push through. Look at that tower. Glint forced to fire off. 2 hits from just maybe a Forsaken Archer and Repulsor, and the tower goes down. There it goes. Racks are exposed. In we go. It's a very, very small Hellbringer. Wishland came around the top. They're going to bring him down first. Oh, look at the Repulsor. It's a jump. It's a jump. It's a jump. And Devour's all in the middle of it. He wants to get him, but he can't catch him. It's all over the place. The Token of Life, it's already popped off. 4 heroes down. Sandwraith is the only person up. It's a genocide. It's a genocide. And GG comes out from the Devourer, and the rest of the team have to confirm it. Top Rax is down. What a play! First game, 65 minutes, and XTU. Holy heck!
What a game. Honestly, we did see Sandwraith. He bought back, actually. It's not going to matter. He's just doing anything possible, but they're going to lock him down, take him out. Again, this goes back to my point as there it goes. GG's a
GG.
There's a defeat. Game 1. That was only game 1.
We got 2 more to go.
Maybe, yeah. It's unbelievable. What a finish. But Ice does come out on top. Oh, I cannot.
Look at that Malphus, signifying the victory for Ice.
The biggest thing about that, Sandwraith chose to go Brutalizer instead of a shrunken head at the end. I'm not sure about that. We saw right there, he got locked down from a sheep stick. If he had a shrunken head right there, it would have been 8 seconds. You know?
Let's look at the creep stats. We can look at this now. Level 25. Let's look at the Sandwraith. 479 creep kills. 17 assists, 7 kills, 6 deaths. He didn't get the kills, but look at the pushing power that came from him. The XP per minute, 490. Gold per minute, 423. He was the most farmed. He was the strongest hero on the field. The big thing for XTU, Devourer was good, like 161 for 11. The 178 gold per minute, 390. He was keeping up there with the best of them as well, but the 2 of them were not enough to face up against the entire Ice team. It was just absolutely amazing. They all played and said Shrunken Heads and absolutely everyone as well. They all play as a team. They were there and said, when we're going to push, it's all 5 of us. Sandwraith, if he pops off the mirages, he's going to be everywhere on the map. We all must be in that one place. Be ready, fight together, stick together. Let's take it to match 2.
You got to give it to XTU.
We're going to have a break. Definitely have a break.
Yeah, no, we will have a break, but you got to give it to XTU. They were down at a point. It really looked like the Ice was just going to overwhelm them around the 40-minute mark or so, but they held their game. They had a couple of team fights happened. Sandwraith made some amazing plays. He eventually got that overwhelming farm that where you're like, holy crap, we may actually lose this game for Ice. But the biggest factor was a lot of those team fights, he tended to run around and not be really aggressive because he was afraid of getting locked down. So a Shrunken Head definitely would have been a valuable pickup, but he chose not to go. He wanted pure damage.
Yeah, he did.
He was killing things quite quickly. You know, what it came down to, he was relying on his illusions to do all his damage base, because really what it comes down to. But in the end, it wasn't able to happen.
I think there was also a big problem. Sandwraith pushed the top. It was supposed to be a Rax trade. It wasn't, though. They had that big fight that went around the Kongor pit and survived Royal. Sandwraith survived. We were off about that fact, but while that was happening, the waves pushed out and that mid-Rax got taken down. It was a full double Rax. Like, it's okay if your melee stays up and you lose your range, you can deal with that. That's not a problem. They get a little bit larger, but it's that melee front row that is so strong when the Raxes go down, and that time it just It pushed 2 racks down to 1. They're being outpushed. They had to try and hold it. Look at even the standoff for the last racks.
Yeah.
Like on the bottom tower when they even pushed on, it was just like, what the hell's going on? Top tower they pushed in, and Repulsor. I think I saw him use his ulti maybe 8 times during that engagement. Just jumping to jumping. You saw Malvis. He's a big fat guy, and he was just like moving himself around. I want to get to this Repulsor, and he couldn't get close enough. Could not get close enough, and there was just so many illusions.
He's annoying to deal with. Well, that's going to do it though for game 1, guys. XTU, unfortunately, for them, a 65-minute game though. Such an epic game 1. I'm sure both teams. Obviously, they're disappointed. I'm sure, but
match 2
in the long run,
time to get it back, boys.
Game 2,
take it to a 3.
Coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. We'll be back with that. But game 1 finished. Ice takes game 1 here in this best out of 3 series. Game 2 coming up next. Will they move on to the grand finale, compete for the $10,000 first place prize, or will XTU survive another game? We'll see. Stay tuned.